Hey, Juana Maria. Cuernavaca. That's a long way away. Joe has signed up. I've had to send instructions to Facebook to tell people to come to my channel because now this is the only live thing going and I'm stuck with my laptop camera. So, okay. Oh, good. Dave is on. Okay, not sure what you mean there, Juana. Is that I've got to set the notifications in YouTube? I did set it for public, so people ought to be able to find it. Hello, Andrea Spurio, coming from Italia. We'll just take a few moments, let people log in. I've got to run in quick and get I was going to get a tripod, but I'm going to have to use my laptop camera. So, it's not letting me use this anyway, so I got to use the laptop. So, okay, so notifications on YouTube. I'm going to go to my well, it's a new streaming, so people had to find it on my channel, but they should see it. Yep. Okay, so I got to find this. Okay, I'm not finding the notifications. What is that under YouTube? Is that under collaboration? Maybe it's under the title and description. No. I don't dare edit it because I don't want it to conk out on me again. So I'm leaving that alone, I'm afraid. Okay. Oh, great. I see I had just sent a link to a bunch of people yesterday with the do-it-yourself solar cooker links, and I'm glad to see some of you are finding the patterns and for the panel cookers. See Jeff coming in from South Carolina. Kurt, you're back. Great. Sorry about the glitch. I had it up and it was telling me my Logitech camera, which is a better camera and one that I can put on a tripod and move around. And it wasn't letting me switch to that. So I'm going to go with my laptop camera. We're going to improvise. It's not going to be quite as exciting as roaming around the sunny deck, but you'll be able to see. The thing behind me is InSun and their cookers that are going full blast, cooking away. So hello from France. Masha, I recognize your name. Say hello to Alan. I hope Alan can sign in, or are you at Alan's place there in Albi? So we got 2 continents at least. And the UK. Oh, good. Okay. Glad Alan is on. We've got, what is it telling me here? Got 11 people on. Not bad for a first shot and for the technical difficulties. So just give it another minute or two, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to put my laptop so actually you'll be able to see more than just this parabolic over my shoulder. I think I can go out. It has to stay in the shade or else it gets too hot and it turns off on me. So, well, I'm going to unplug my mobile camera because it's not doing anything anyway. Okay. Okay, more folks from England. Michael Reed, hey, good to see you there. Glad you could log in. For those that are on, I did intend to have my mobile Logitech camera, which is a much better camera. It's got a built-in microphone, and I was going to put it on a tripod, but YouTube wouldn't let me switch to it. So, oh, great, fun panel. That's one of the, I think of all the Tiang Tan models. Giannis is saying that he used that from the Solar Cookers Wiki League to Tiang Tan's various designs. And the fun panel, Celestino Ruivo in Portugal actually made a big one out of concrete and mirrors. That is his deck chair when he's not cooking with it. It's pretty amazing. Okay, have I missed anyone else here? Albee, Texas, South Carolina, Cuernavaca. And then there's Joe upstairs. Oh, yeah. Giannis says, I nominate you adding one of those. They're great, all the Tiang Tan models. Wade Steen, look him up on my channel, Steen, Steene. He is making has made most of Tiang Tan's models. He likes, and he upsizes them to be able to fit more food in, more pots, up the power and so forth. Okay. Well, seeing how we're 20 minutes into this, and even though I messed up with the first shot, we are live, and I'll figure this out. I got to figure out how to tell my laptop to just make my other camera the default. I think that's the only way I'll be able to do it. We were going to test yesterday. We didn't get around to it. That would have exposed that little shortcoming. But anyway, here I am. I'm in our backyard, sunny Minneapolis. It's supposed to be in the 90s, which is what, 30s, 32-ish Celsius. So pretty hot, a little sticky. And I might have to take a break just to change my shirt because I'm getting kind of sweaty here. But and the sun is starting to encroach on my little command center. But anyway, I wanted to just do 2 or 3 things. One is to make sure I could do a live stream, which obviously I can, and obviously I can really mess it up too, like the first one. My mistake was that I stopped the live stream thinking I could start it over again. I wish I could pause so I could troubleshoot, but it doesn't let you do that. But we move forward. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the festival, and every one of you that has logged in. I see Seattle logged in. Great. Gordy, I'm glad. Okay, Gordy from Barstow, California, Mojave Desert. Get on those picket lines for the data center that's going to be taking water from your aquifer. That's not a good thing. Anyway, glad you could join. So for you that have joined, I know a few of you are already deep into the festival, and I will name names because they deserve recognition. Kurt Neubeck, who has signed in, I am going to be live streaming from his solar cooking demo at the Sandcastle competition in Galveston, Texas. And correct me if I get the details wrong, Kurt, but September 19th, I think that's a Saturday. But anyway, September 19th for sure. I think the event said something like 10 to 5 on the beach. And I was there at 2023 or so with Kurt. And it's just over the top. He's got 15, 20 cookers out there. A few of them that he's made himself that are just, really up there for DIY, very powerful DIY models. And talk about going, you're hot on this hot sand and a hot beach on a sunny day, and the commitment to put that out. And I think it was Matt Jones, if I remember right, your brother-in-law, Kurt, helped out too. And I was just the window dressing. I tried to help get the setup, but after that, it was pretty much autopilot. I mean, you guys took it from there, and I helped answer a couple questions, but it was just incredible. So September 19th, it'll be the 4th or 5th time, I think, Kurt, that you'll be doing that. So anyway, so that's September 19th. But to kick it off, September 12th, barring some calamities, September 12th in Tucson, Arizona, live stream of the Tucson Citizens for Solar and the Tucson Solar Guild. They co-sponsor a solar cooking potluck at Cat State Park. And that too runs by 9 or 10 in the morning when people set out their cookers. I'll be there to live stream that as well. I will definitely fix this camera situation by then. But those are two. And then Alan Bibas, who has signed in, is setting up his own kind of parallel track festival. That is so fantastic. What'll be great about that is when we run out of stuff before the sun sets, or actually he'll be able to do it, and then when the sun is starting to set, people can switch over to ours or what have you. I mean, it'll be a great 1-2 punch as his goes on as well. So I see Seattle also signed in. Seattle, that's one of 2 birthplaces of Solar Cookers International. Tom Sponheim, of course, was one of the originals, and he set up the Solar Cooking Wiki. If you do nothing else at this point, bookmark solarcooking.org. Solarcooking.org. It should be a permanent bookmark if you're at all into solar cooking. Just about everything that has ever been done with solar cookers, designs, promotional efforts, troubleshooting, DIY models, commercial models, they're on the wiki, solarcooking.org. So anyway, so I mentioned those. Okay, Kurt says 10 to 4. Okay, so the solar cooking demonstration, 10 to 4. There's probably a little bit of lingering as we pack up and so forth. So it might go a little beyond that, but I mean, hopefully it won't be too hot. I mean, it's hot enough, but anyway, that's great. Okay. And it is still morning here as well, Gordy. You're at 8:55 there Pacific time, I think. So you're almost 9 o'clock. So just that's the quick news on the update. Is there's 2 live streams, and then whatever Alon works out to share his event. I'm sure we'll be able to figure that out, and that will be just wonderful. I was there last year after the Console Foods Conference in Marseille. And Alan had 2 or 3 days in a row where he had his own solar potluck, everything cooked with the sun out in his yard, 10, 15 of his simplicities, and I think 2 of the upsized models. It was just incredible, inspiring. So other updates on the festival have had really good luck reaching out. Initially, just asking people for ideas for panels to discuss issues related to solar cooking, for demonstrations, for workshops, for live streamed events. The big one is that we do have, I want to mention Neil Jones in Australia has helped to gather 3 or 4 other people at least to come up with some of their own, and they're running with them and organizing them. But they're also going to help with some of the ones that interaction, conversation, face-to-face, virtually on Zoom. Unlike this, where this is great, but of course we're limited to the chat comments, and that'll help me with the questions and so forth. So that's, I think I'm up 15 or 16 panels. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like one panel just on panel cookers, people who make panel cookers. They'll be able to showcase their own for 10, 15, 20 minutes. People can ask questions. Then we have the next one. And I think I've got 6 or 7 where they're in production. And so I'm hoping as many of them can serve on the panel. Could be a couple hours, but the time is well spent because you'll hear from the people that really know what they're doing and have commercially viable models or DIY designs. I'm hoping against hope I can get Tiong Tan to spare just a half hour to drop in, because his DIY models on the wiki, so many people have taken them and run with them and made multiples of them to give away and use them to promote solar cooking. So those are there. We have a few assignments, just do ask questions in the chat. Don't forget. Some of the assignments, it's a kind of a just a kind of a way to generate some discussion and some thought provocation. One, for instance, that I hope someone will take me up on is to find as many solar cooker or not as many cookware manufacturers as possible and contact them and ask them to put a solar symbol on the bottom of their pots. If you've noticed, a lot of pots lately, they have this stamp in the bottom that'll say it's good for an induction cooker or halogen or gas. Well, it would cost them nothing to just add one more thing. So every time these things get stamped off the assembly line, that little sun symbol could be there. And if nothing else, maybe that'll generate questions like, what is this? Well, I don't think they'll go so far as putting a web link on, but what does it hurt them, So, and I've actually looked up the top manufacturers on the planet, and there's 2 top 10 lists that overlap. Some are more worldwide, some are more Western countries or developed countries, so to speak. But so those would be the ones people could contact. But another assignment that I'm developing right now it's pretty straightforward. There's about 15 or 20 cookers that got to the prototype stage, but either the designer decided they couldn't quite make a go of it or they moved on to other things. But anyway, there are cookers that are worth researching to see if they can work. They probably have tested them, but this would be a way to kind of reverse engineer some that have been out there. Maybe they stalled, maybe they were just fine, but they didn't seem economically viable. So I'll be getting that list out very soon. Other than that, I'm just very hopeful that we'll have enough people signing in up for the live streams, because that's kind of the open-ended one. If you want to demonstrate solar cooking in your community, I mentioned one who just does it as a man, being Stu McLaughlin. Let's just put it this way. He's from London, and he will do guerrilla promotion of solar cooking. He will find the edge of a park that is not occupied by anyone else and put out some cookers on a sunny day and demonstrate them. If I remember right, he actually set them out on the median between 2 very busy parts of the highway, very visible, and especially during rush hour, people had time to actually look at them and see his signs and see the cookers steaming away. So so the promotion part, that's going to be one panel, or actually probably 2. One is about what can an individual do just on their own in their own community to promote solar cooking. But another one will be what are the best practices for getting them into countries where they're more desperately needed, and what are the challenges to getting them there? What are the challenges to keeping them in people's hands that they'll actually use them? It's a promotion isn't just, hey, here's your cooker, good luck, bye. It's got to be more a matter of here's a cooker, here's how you use it. Do you have any questions? Can we follow up in a few months, see if you're still using them? There's all sorts of little things like that really help make it happen. So yeah, Simplicity, Alan, happy to see you too, or at least see that you've logged in. I hope I got it right about your own festival, your own event in September. That is just so cool. We'll have to coordinate so we don't step on toes. Mainly you do what you need to do, and I'll try to schedule all my stuff so it won't overlap and get in the way of yours. We'll work it out. Well, I see 15 signed in, are signed in right now. I think we had 16 at one time. Well, now it's down to 14. Maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe I should start showing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Simplicity from the 12th to the 20th. That's in Albi, France, toward the south central area of France. Beautiful country. Lots of room on his property there for him to make it happen. It's going to be great. Well, I should actually figure out a way to show what we're cooking, because we are cooking a lot of stuff. I'm smelling beans, and I think they might need a stir. So I'm going to find a stirring spoon. And is Joe available for that? Okay, yeah, and here's Joe. Oops, yep. There's Joe. Joe's behind all this stuff. She pushes me to the edge of a cliff and says, "I'm behind you 1,000%." Anyway. Okay, I'll go get you a spoon. Great, thank you. So bring a couple, because I'll probably I'm going to check a bunch of things. I don't know if I want to mix up the two. One challenge to doing this back here is that's over my shoulder, two parabolics going there, the SK14 right behind me. And then that's the Sun Flash by Steve Bear, who is in, who passed away about 2 or 3 years ago, but in Albuquerque, Minnesota, he came up with a bunch of brilliant passive solar designs, solar architecture, just without parallel. In fact, he never got an architecture degree. He just kind of figured it all for himself, but he's revered amongst architects around the world. Well, this solar cooker, this is how deep he was into passive solar building. That was kind of, I sold the rights to it a few years after he developed it, but it's one of the best parabolic cookers out there. It's Stan Wells uses it out there in California, and he and I think there's only one other one I know out there, and I have 2 of them. So any of those are 2. And then over this shoulder, you can maybe make out there's the Haynes on the cart over my left shoulder, and you can see solar panels that are powering my power pack. So when I do the live streams, I can do them on the road. And also, I might have to. Oh, and then over my right shoulder, there, that's the Solar Oven Society Sport, and I've got banana bread going in that. I got that started early. That might start to get the shade. Yeah. Oh, and that's probably going. Yeah. So we'll need to check them all for shade. Oh, Alan says hi. Hi. Joe says hi back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is clear a little space to my side here so I can do some, show some pots that have been in progress. Oh, okay, spoon. Thank you. In fact, I'll turn, see if I can, might be able to grab the laptop. Gotta be careful because I don't want to get everything out of whack here. I just have to make sure I get this camera cable out of the way. I should put this whole table on wheels. That would have helped. This 2. Oh, that's over here. All right. The beans. This is the SK14. I'm going to turn it toward you. You'll be able to see the steam. The pot slightly out of focus before I even move there. Whoa, bubbling. Wait. Actually, this is black-eyed peas. It's bubbling so bad it's coated the top with black-eyed peas stuff. So they're probably done. I don't know. I've had them out since about as soon as the sun served my deck. So that's one. And then I can roll over. I'll roll over the Sun Flash. It'll actually be, still keep it kind of in focus. It needs to go up and down a little bit. And the thing is, the shadow, here I'll show you the shadow, that's what I can do. The great thing about this cooker is there's a hole in the back, so when it's windy, it isn't nearly as susceptible to being blown over. But also, when you have the pot there, you can look at the shadow, and here it is on the deck. And if the pot is generally centered in the circle of sunlight, it's pretty much in focus. It does not need a hard focus. It's a deep parabola like the Simplicity, so it doesn't need that hard focus. And you'll notice, I'll turn it around. You'll see. Man, I smell burning. I don't know what that is. You might have some food burning. You can see it's 2 borosilicate bowls. I don't think they're Pyrex. They might be Anchor. They're Anchor, which is sodium something, which is every bit as safe as borosilicate, as long as you don't set a hot bowl on a cold puddle of water. And what Steve Barrier figured out was, for a heat trap, just clamshell 2 of these guys, and you can fit a substantial pot in here. I do 2 at a time, and this is large enough where you could kind of call it a big tiffin pot. Very popular in Asia, where they have 3 pots stacked in a row, and they cook. The heat basically connects all the pots together. Now, if I can get this off without burning myself, because this thing is hot. Okay, this is rice, and it is not done. That's at the top. But I do have navy beans in the bottom. And these are a little trickier to remove because it's kind of tight in there. In fact, I got to cut the whole bowl to do it. If the beans are done, then I can just put the rice back in. Okay, so here's the pot. Okay. Nope. No, the beans are not done, but they're smelling really good. So we're gonna leave them on all. Here, I'll pull it off again. Opening it once, of course, that's a no-no in solar cooking, to remove the pot, remove the lid. But we're talking demo purposes here. You can see it's still got, it's pretty full with water, but it's been out there for about 2 hours. And it'll go the rest of the day. It's going to be really great. A little garlic, a little salt, and it'll cook. So back what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap and put the rice on the bottom. These are stainless steel bowls or pots, painted mostly black, and put the rice one back on too. And because they're stainless steel, then even the part that isn't painted black, it does absorb some sunlight, and most of it is painted black. So you can see that. Put this bowl back in. And Steve Bear did not include this silicone gasket, but I found one that happened to fit these pots exactly. And I was just maybe a little paranoid about steam escaping. It's really not necessary. But I also like it so the glass isn't smacking against, the bowls aren't smacking against each other when I put them in. Okay, and that's ready to put back out. And as you saw, it was still in pretty good focus. I think I set it up just before I turned on the live stream. Turn. Pot right in the center. I'm going to put it forward a little bit. You all know that trick. Kind of buy yourself a little extra time as you get something else in the pan. So that's 2 things. Oh, and I should mention, hey, Solar Education Project. That looks, is it Mary or Jennifer or both? Are you both both having brunch and catching the live stream? Oh yeah, and the simplicity. I'm going to be using it to brown saute onions and garlic a little later to put into the rice and beans that I have cooking in the sunflash, which is what Steve Bear calls his. Okay, Hareth 3911, where are you from? Hello, glad you could log in. Oh, we're up to 20 now. Okay, so those are a few of the things I mentioned in the SOS Sport right over here. Whoop. that's the box cooker. It's made locally. Mike and Martha Port. I note that Mike Port passed away about a month ago, but Martha is still keeping the project going. It's produced in Little Canada. This is a suburb of St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm gonna check the temperature. I probably should move it because it's about to fall in the shadows. So hang on. It might be done. It's ready for the toothpick test. What else have I got going? Oh, I've got my I got the Haynes with and the Haynes. I'll bring that over. I'll bring the pot over. This is the pot right out of the Haynes. And what we got going here is dry boiled eggs. And they are starting to work. If you notice, let's see if we can find one. It's not quite as, yeah, you can see them here, I think. They're starting to get brown spots. When they get brown spots, that's pretty much a done deal. There's another one with one spot. There's some brown liquid on the bottom. It basically is stuff that's oozing out a little bit from the shell. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all, of course, it's all being cooked. You put this in and you just set this on the polycarbonate sleeve that Roger includes with his cooker, and you're good to go. So, I'll turn this way. Oh, and Giannis, yeah, made the Haynes out of a printout from the Mini. Okay, great. The Haynes 1, yeah, that's the nice thing about the Haynes 1 is it's somewhere between its later one, which is closer to a parabola, and back in time, a lot like the Cookit that Solar Cookers International had put out for a long time. And there was a model that made with wax paper or wax cardboard for a while. It lasted a lot longer than regular cardboard, and it still works. But it wasn't as it's the slowest of the slow panel cookers, really, with all the new designs right now. So, trying to remember. Oh, and I have, and I won't be able to bring it over here. It's too big. If you can see, oops. Oh, it's being covered by, oh, yeah, right under, let's see if I can get my finger in the right place. Oop. Right there to the side of the sun flash, that's the back of the Arliss Walters cooker. It's a cooker that uses mineral oil in pipes that go up and down, and just through thermal siphoning circulates through there, and it gets the cooker up to about 280 degrees is about the average I've been able to get. It's perfect for slow cooked stuff like roasts, pot roasts, ribs, anything you need to cook slow. And you only need to really point it toward the equator. So if you're in the southern hemisphere, you point it north, northern hemisphere, you point it south. And because the pipes are far enough apart, whereas the sun passes by, it actually hits almost all of the tube with the mineral oil. And it has a little vent in the tops just in case somehow you get more than 280 degrees and it starts to expand too much, and it'll go up. It won't blow up your cooker. In there, I have a pork chop and I have a chicken gizzards, which is not, I mean, that's more of a southern United States thing, the gizzards, I think. But I discovered about 4 or 5 years ago, they're perfect for the slow cooking because they're pretty tough, But once you slow cook them, they get really tender and just tasty, almost just a little salt and pepper, salt and garlic, and you're good to go. Oh, good point there, Jennifer. Yeah, pin the egg. Hard-boiled eggs spin smoothly. Oh, yeah. Okay. Challenge accepted. Let's see if I can do that here. Oh, Harath from Iraq. You have the all season. Oh, great. Yeah, that's Jim LaJoy's model. That is been around a long time and very effective panel cooker. Okay. Oops. Gotta look for this. See if we can get the. So that must be our hard-boiled egg, huh, Jennifer? It's spinning. Did it show up on the camera? Oop. Yeah, it's still pretty good. Oh, this one's got to be done. I think this one's so spotty and done because it was at the back where it was getting more sun than the rest. Yeah, that's definitely spinning. So, well, and what I found out too is once you have a few that have spots, you can go about another hour, and you might have a little bit of tanned egg whites when you crack them open, but they're perfectly edible. They're not like vulcanized like a tire rubber where you can't chew them, or they're just too chewy. They're really great. Oh, great! The all season cooks like butter. Can't get better than that. Okay, well, hey, send some questions. Send some questions because this is even though this isn't like Zoom where you can pop in and share a screen and so forth. I'd love to hear if you have any questions about the festival, about any of the cookers. What I'll do once we end the live stream, I will post a link to a PowerPoint that I put together, which was my initial archive collection. Basically, all the cookers I've ever purchased, a handful that I actually made myself, but mostly ones I purchased. And I'm over 100 right now, unique models. And I don't have pictures of all of them or a slide in that PowerPoint, but you'll be able, and I give a little tiny summary of them, maybe who was the one that invented it and so forth. So that look for that coming up. I see we're 41 minutes in, and I'm ready to go the distance. I originally was planning on having a little teleprompter, aka a menu holder, with questions or with an agenda with what I was cooking, but I thought, let's just make it live. Sharon Clausen, all right. Question is, what foods attract the most interest in public displays? Well, I always make sure I put out at least the simplicity with water. Whenever I put out a display, as I'm setting up, I put water out because, 15, 20 minutes, a couple cups of water are boiling. And that's immediately people say, oh, well, now we know. I mean, it's not like they need any more convincing. And that's not food. But being able to, like I would at rest stops, I put out ramen, where I just put out water and then put a packet of ramen in. And sidebar, and I know Sharon and Kurt and some of you have heard this story, but at one rest area, a woman gets out of her car with her daughter who's 5-6 years old, and I'm cooking in my simplicity, and the daughter says, look, Mom, a solar cooker. And the mom says, no, I don't think so. I had to correct her. I had to say, no, she's right. And it's actually a promising thing that someone 6 years old-ish was already ahead of the game. It's good that when they catch that young. But cookies are always good because they cook pretty quickly. When I have brought the villager to events, that's the immediate thing that I do a bunch of because I get them going right away. So as soon as they finish, I can slide out a tray of them and put in a slide of pastries or put in a turkey or what have you. Jennifer, cakes, brownies, applesauce. Yeah, anything. Basically anything you would cook at home. That's a good point. I don't know if I would get away with cooking escargot if people would would latch on to solar cooking in this country, although I think it's a perfectly fine dish. Um, but cake and brownies. One of my favorite intro stories is a friend of ours in San Diego. She let me stay in her casita in the back of their property because I was passing through and doing solar cooking videos. And so, just a token of my thanks, I gave her a Hanes. And next thing I know, 3-4 days later, she says she cooked her favorite recipe in it, and I was kind of grimacing, wondering if how it went. She said it turned out perfectly. It was a poppy seed cake, and she showed a picture of it. And it's like it looks like it belongs in any cafe or deli for desserts. It was just incredible. Okay, so I hope that helps, Sharon. Yeah, it's share the ones that you use too. But rice, because people know rice and they know, okay, yeah, we know that'll take a while to cook. But when you see that boiling away, beans boiling away is a good thing. I got to adjust my other table here because my power pack is starting to get sun on it. There we go. Okay. Juana Haynes 1. Oh, you made from galvanized. Oh, that's great. Does it take any longer, or is it as quick as the Hanes with the aluminized mylar windshield reflector type material? 3 sizes. Wow. Well, that's the great thing about panel cookers. If you can make one, it's not that hard to just scale it up or down. Sharon knows this, whether Copenhagen, just inimitable. It's nothing beats it for simplicity. And probably half the people I know that have gotten it say, I love it, but I want to cook some more volume, and they just double the size and do the same thing. It's incredible. Yeah, Kurt, very good question. I'll let everyone pipe in about that, and then I can pipe in later. But the question is, for everyone that's on right now, what are the foods people are most impressed with, or surprised by when you cook in a solar cooker? And rack of ribs, yeah, that's what I got going in the Arliss Walters. So I think that's absolutely, and people understand ribs are not something you're just going to cook in a half an hour. They know low and slow is what makes them taste the best. So it's just really that's a perfect example. I should mention that pertinent to Kurt's question, in 2020 at Consol Foods in Portugal, Sarah Hjalmarsson and I got into a discussion before we got there about, what are the kinds of dishes or entrees that people say, oh, I bet you can't cook that in it, or what are the foods that people cook in their own homeland that they really need to see that cooked in a solar cooker, or it's no sale, So might want to think about that as far as if people are impressed if you can cook what they like or what they need for, what they have for a traditional dish. The one that when Sarah and I got deep into it, she'd asked me if I'd ever cooked a souffle. And I will say that was one where I thought, okay, well, that's a challenge because, of course, the whole thing is it's supposed to stay puffed up. And it's probably perfectly fine if it collapses, but if it doesn't stay puffed up, it's not a souffle, and people think of that as a failure. Oh, yeah, the cooker fell over. That was the Hanes. I had taken my pot out of it. I was asked if the cooker fell over in the background. That's the Hanes. It's very lightweight, and it's easy to put right back up. It had the eggs in it. I'm going to put the eggs back into it. So, but anyway, so I did 6 savory. I know some of you have heard this because I've met you, and I can't help sharing it because it's really wonderful. I did 6 savory and 6 sweet souffles. I think I did 1 batch in the Simplicity and maybe 1 in the SOS Sport with the ramekins as the recipe that I had asked for. And I forgot which was which, but only one of them collapsed. So I'm going, well, there we go. 80%, that's not bad, or whatever that is. And the other one, 2 or 3 of them collapsed, but the rest stayed up. And I think the one where it was just the one collapse was the sweet souffles. So I thought, well, shoot, I mean, this is not like it's bad. It just didn't stay up. And I tasted it, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to bill it as a bread pudding. Okay, so if you make souffles and they all collapse, just say, oh, we changed the menu. It's bread pudding. So Spaghetti, yeah, you don't need. Yeah, that's the one thing that I was really surprised with, and I'm continually still doubting myself about how little water you need to cook things in the solar cooker. The eggs are the perfect example. You don't have to boil them. In fact, I prefer this method because boiling, you kind of have to know, okay, 7.5 minutes, and they're hard boiled, or 5.5 and they're soft boiled. And if you forget, you got the wrong kind of hard boiled eggs. Plus, you got water. What do you use it for afterwards? I'm sure it's perfectly safe. It's been boiling. But if you don't need to use water, these days with droughts, half of the state of Minnesota is under a severe drought right now, I think. Most of the western states, they're in wildfire notices because of droughts. Just saw a story about farmers that are, they had a really good crop and then the rain stopped. And they're dependent on the rain because they don't have groundwater, or the groundwater is being sucked up by industrial interests and they can't get at it. So conserving water is a really big plus for solar cooking. I don't think we mentioned it enough. Okay, Juana, to cook meat, you need to know it'll be a sunny day. Yeah, it's a good point. Food safety. We hope to have Giannis is one that is signed in. I'm hoping that he can present on his background as well as consumer acceptance of cooking stuff in solar cookers, because that's an important thing. Here it is. Can you cook your bratwurst, and so forth? As we know that, but also food safety. That's a big sticking point where people have tried to start businesses where they're cooking with solar cookers. Susan Regali, I don't mind mentioning, she has this wonderful catering business, Savor Solar, in Los Angeles. And if I remember the story correctly, the regulatory authorities, they don't watch her catering business because that's all private events. But she's got a restaurant where they don't like the idea of her using the Sun Oven Villager to cook pastries for, and it's a vegan restaurant. It's like, come on. And one question they had is, well, what kind of emissions? We don't know how to measure the emissions in a solar cooker. And I like to say, man, you need a test to find the cookie aroma, or the savory steak. They need to measure that, and then it's like, well, it's the positive measure. But anyway, I hope I'm not getting too far behind. Okay, yeah, Kurt, great. Yeah, people are starting to pipe in with these. Popcorn, absolutely. I think in my last visit with Craig Berglund, I think I posted already, he just took 2 sieves and put a bunch of popcorn in and put them in the focal point of a parabolic, just far enough back from the hottest point. And in about, I don't know, I'm going to say not 5 minutes, all of a sudden it started to pop, and not a minute later it was all popped. And at that point, it's a matter of, well, you keep shaking it so it doesn't burn any of it. Perfectly good popcorn, and very much the kinetic displays. That's what wins the day. They'll tell you that in private businesses. Breakfast egg frittatas. Oh yeah, just Joe does frittatas in what does she do that? She does that in the Steve Harrigan's Solar Clutch box cooker, frittatas and granola. What else do we have here? Salmon fillets. They're fish, any kind of fish. They really are they're one of the best things to cook in a solar cooker because they're almost the exact same time as a regular stovetop or an oven. They cook pretty fast, and they're safe cooked fast. They're safer I'm thinking they're safer on the temperature scale at a little bit lower temperature. But that's a good point. Oh yeah, 120 centigrade. You're cooking. Everything starts at about 85 centigrade. I'm going to say 160, 170 Fahrenheit. So yeah, if it gets up to 120, you can rest easy for cooking stuff. Digital thermometers, those are always good. I've got one of those, what do they call it? The thermocoupler system, the Hobo Onset, where you can have up to 4 temperatures. You can put them all in the same dish, where you put some at the bottom of the pot, some at the top, one in the food, and one outside for the ambient temperature. Those are good. Those are the great thing about that is if you've read Joe Radabau's book, he makes a statement that maybe we rely too much on temperature. And I mean, when something's cooked. Like I got this banana bread that I just got to do the toothpick test, not paste, toothpick test, and I know it's done. But I also know, and a lot of people have mentioned this in my travels, as soon as they see steam gathering on the glass lid of a box cooker, they know it's hot enough because the internal temperature is close enough to boiling where it's steaming it off, so it's safe. At the same time, I think a lot of us still need that affirmation that comes with a thermometer to show what's going on. Okay, what meatloaf? Meatloaf is great. That's another one where since it's ground meat, depending on the volume, it probably takes a little bit longer than in a regular oven. But if you preheat the oven, when we've done that, or like lasagnas, if a lasagna takes hour and a quarter, I don't know, in a regular oven, not more than two hours, and it's piping away. I'm scrolling back in case I missed anything here. I think I got most of the comments that I would reflect on. Yeah, and all of these that you mentioned for public displays, they're the same, basically two sides of the coin for Sharon's question about what the people like to see cooked, and then also the more complicated ones. One note on that, some dishes, if you've seen cooking channels, you've got people that are cooking and they're using 2 or 3 different cookers to make the same dish because they have to braise the onions or the meat in the pan, and then they put it in the oven, and then they put it back in the pan. So when people say, "Oh, it's too complicated to solar cook," it's no different. It's no different. I'm like I say later, I'm going to be caramelizing some onions and garlic to put into the rice and beans. Oh, the question about what's the best solar cooker, in my opinion. I get asked that a lot, probably because I got 100 of them, and I've probably about 80 of them. I've actually put at least one thing in, and they all work. I have to hesitate because I don't want to play favorites. And I mentioned I'll talk about panel cookers, which Jim LaJoie's All Season is. I have yet to see a panel cooker that doesn't work, and this is before when I was starting to collect cookers. I had a real prejudice against panel cookers because I thought, well, they're slow cookers and they just don't seem like they're going to do the job like a box cooker where you can see it's getting maybe 300 degrees or more Fahrenheit, 150 Celsius or more. But when I got the hot pot, and I'll bring that out in a little bit here. Solar Household Energy helped get that developed in Mexico, and it's basically a borosilicate bowl with a pot that's enameled steel and a glass lid, and then spectral aluminum fold-out reflector. And I got that, and I thought, okay, well, let's give this thing a shot, because I wasn't really all that convinced that panel cookers were that great. Well, it did a beef stew that just is as good as I've ever had, because it just cooked things at just the right, not above the temperature that you want to go too far over. And I just set it out like at 10 in the morning here when the sun clears our neighbor's house behind us, and it goes all the way till 5 or 6 depending on the time of the year. And I get home from work, I have it pointed to where it would be at like about 3 o'clock, and I just pointed for another hour of cooking. Brought it in, we were able to serve it piping hot. The beef was so tender. I mean, it tasted great. So all the panel cookers that are out there, one might take a half hour longer for the same amount of rice or what have you, but it really ends up being immaterial because the whole point is you want to cook low and slow. With those, you should be ready for low and slow. The one thing I probably should have said out here was another one was the Hanes, of course. Once I started to realize, hey, these things really work, putting out about 1.5 cups of black beans and seeing just the even bubbles all the way across a low simmer was just incredible. And it would do that, and you don't have to move it more than every 2 hours or so to keep that simmer. And sometimes I've set it out at 10, I move it at 3, and it finishes for supper. So never worry about that. But box cookers, the ones that I have, that they all work really well. The only favorite I should mention is the Solar Oven Society Sport, because they're my local team. They're here in the Twin Cities, and they have it's a box that's a lot like the Sun Stove that was made in South Africa. It's got all the right angles, just enough reflectors so you're like doubling the amount of sun that goes into the box, and you're not sending a whole lot of, because the reflectors aren't so tall that they're sending sunlight everywhere else. But it's only my favorite because it's local. It's maybe it's lighter than the Sun Oven. And like there's a Sun Taste. One reason I like that is it's a box cooker made with cork, and the cork is firm enough to be the box, but also it's got insulation value, and it's segueing away from plastic. I mean, we've got a lot of cookers that have a lot of plastic, which right now it's the way to make them economically. There's no way around that. At the same time, the future is to try to get away from plastic as much as possible. And the Sun Taste, Solar Brother sells it out of France. I would just say that's a favorite for one category, in that it's ecologically, it's one of the best cookers for sustainable materials. Parabolics, well, yeah, Juana Maria, what's the best cooker? It depends. It does. It just depends on, what do you cook on a regular basis? Are there cookers that can cook pretty much anything without a lot of finagling? And I do. I mean, I'm going to say it. I love all the parabolics I have, but Elan's Simplicity, you can't on every measure that I have for performing, for power, for flexibility, it just hits all the buttons. It's transportable. When I drive around and do my road trips for my videos in my Buick, or I did before in my Saturn Ion, it's the only cooker I put in because it's about the only one I can fit, and you barely know what's even in the car. It's just when you fold it up, it's the most transportable cooker out there. I mean, behind me, that get out of the way, the SK14. I did bring that to an event once by putting it on the roof of my Saturn Ion, but I had to put a massive rug on top so it wouldn't scratch everything up, because I couldn't take it apart. Once you put it together, you can't take it apart. So those are the three main types out there. Right now for vacuum tube cookers, GoSun, of course, is really kind of cornered the market for vacuum tubes, certainly in the U.S., but I'm sure people order them for overseas. I was going to put them out today, but I just kind of ran out of time, and I didn't want to cook so much that I couldn't put it in the fridge if I couldn't eat it. So, so it just depends on what you want to cook. It depends on your needs. I do a lot of traveling to get my videos. People have been so generous in letting me couch surf or camp out on their property, and so forth. But when I can, now that we have a van, last year we spent 5 months in a van, and we put the Haynes, the Simplicity. I think we might have had the Sport in the van too, but we basically used the Haynes and the Simplicity the most because they're just the easiest to set up. If we had a camp where we had sun all day, it really didn't matter. If you wanted to bake a cake, we could do it in both. If you want to do rice, do a stew, they both would work in that. They work in a box cooker too. So, Juana, yes, absolutely. Console Foods, don't forget. I mean, I, of course, have the bias. I hope people can log into my festival, and I'll explain a little bit of the difference so you understand. You really should try to get to both. Console Foods, Celestino Rivo is unparalleled for inspiring people to get into solar cooking. He calls it getting the solar cooking virus. And it really is kind of like there's no cure. And once you get that virus, you don't want to be cured. Solaritis or solorosis or whatever. And everyone, I've been to 4, I think, the 3 of them in Europe, and then the one that was online during the height of COVID. And just, you learn so much, and people have put a lot of work into researching various aspects of solar cooking, and also talking about promoting them. And at each event where they've had them live, they put out like 50 or 100 cookers on their, like in the plaza of the universities where they're at. Or last year, they had them on the grounds of Le Presage, Marseille, the solar cooking restaurant. I'm going to put a big plug in for that. If you make it to Europe anytime, you better spend some time in Marseille and find Le Presage. it'll blow you away. It's just incredible. It's not just the solar cooking, but in the French cooking, which is really good, but they've got a permaculture garden. They've just got sustainability practices all over the map as far as managing the restaurant. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Kurt, he's got the best quote there, and I think I've heard this from 4 or 5 people, and I think everyone comes up with it on their own because it makes the most sense. What's the best cooker? What's the one you use, right? Or the one in your kitchen? Which one's the best in your kitchen? Well, you can't really say. I mean, it's what you got to cook. Crock pot for the slow stuff. Air fryers, I've never really understood them. I kind of think they aren't all that energy efficient, but they work. I mean, there are a lot of nomads that pack an air fryer for the versatility, for being able to bake and fry and so forth. But yeah, the same. So Kurt, you're right. Yeah. If someone says, what's your favorite or what's the best solar cooker, you just really can't say. I mean, if it works according to their specs, it's a good cooker. And best is relative. It's just your taste. Whether one thing about parabolics, there's a parabolic that hasn't been produced for 9 or 10 years now. The Soul Source, it's a parabolic, but it's got a little notch in the back, and so for usability, it's nothing to put the pot in the rack. This SK14, you got to, and when it's high sun, you got to reach over the reflector to put the pot in. And keeping it focused, they'll have to be kept focused maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. With the Simplicity, you can go 45 minutes in advance and it'll cook for 90 minutes. So you're setting it ahead. And it, as far as I can tell, it's doing almost the exact power of cooking 45 minutes out, because most of that sun is still hitting the pot. But yeah, good point there. Did I miss anything else out here? Open source with insulation that doesn't break down or get wimpy. When I first dived into solar cooking, some of you, when I visited, I've told a story. Found a store in Norfolk, Virginia, when I was visiting my brother, called Tomorrow's World, and a sun oven in the window. And I wasn't ready to invest in that much. I didn't have a single solar cooker, but the guy gave me a book called Cooking with the Sun by Beth and Dan Hallisey. That's another one for your library. You got to get it. Plywood, cardboard for insulation, 2-3 layers of 4 or 5 layers of cardboard, aluminum foil on top of that, painted black on the bottom and silver on the sides, aluminum foil reflectors, and a sheet of glass on the top. Well, I just made sure I brought them in all the time because of the cardboard. I didn't have a real plan for making them weatherproof, but I did make a couple models with polyisocyanurate, long-term for closed cell foam insulation. It can take up to 350, maybe 400 degrees. The Solar Oven Society Sport uses that. I think there are a couple other cookers that might use that, box cookers, I'm not sure. But the polyiso, that's the best as far as if it rains and it's out, it's no big deal. You just pour it out because it'll collect the water. It soaks it up, but it doesn't soak it up like fiberglass where it mats it down. It stays the same shape. One caution though, I'm in Minnesota and I had one little less hot. It hit like 400 degrees Fahrenheit or like 200 or so Celsius. I forget when I first got it. About 5-6 years later, it was not getting up above 300, 325 at the most. And I thought, well, what the heck? I mean, nothing has changed. I've been bringing it in, I've been draining it, and I'm thinking I probably just didn't drain it enough a couple times. And in my porch, which is a 3-season porch, in the winter, I think the water froze at the corners, still in the polyiso. And then when it melted, of course, it expands and it probably puffed it into powder. I haven't taken it apart to find out, but that's my suspicion. But otherwise, it'll last forever as long as you keep it dry and don't let it stay out and get frozen if there's any moisture in it. So that as far as insulation doesn't get wimpy. I mean, like I say, I think the one I have that it only gets 300, 325. I still have it because I don't need 400 degrees. I mean, I'd love to get that every time, but I don't need it. So whereas with fiberglass, the moisture getting into, and that's the other thing about the Sport, it's not sealed off. so the moisture from the steam of the food will get into the insulation. So fiberglass would just not be, it would not be viable in that, as opposed to the sun oven, which they put a big bead of silicone caulk around the outside of the cook box before they insert it into the insulation, which I'm told is a real stiff, like pizza oven grade fiberglass. I'm not sure. Stan Wells, I think Kurt has taken that kind of basic idea and figured out, can you add more insulation? Will it get hotter? And it does up to a certain point. Anyway, mineral wool. Yeah, in fact, that's another one Kurt and Stan Wells found out. Mineral works really well. I don't know about it. Does it, Kurt, can it soak up water if you like leave it out and all that and wreck it? Or does it, will it survive the moisture that a lot of cookers obviously will put out if they're worth worth it. If they're going to cook, they're going to put off some steam. What else have I missed? Anything outside of a post Civil War battle, and the soldiers were issued hardtack, and it's basically a muffin, but just extremely dried out and ready to be just hydrated. And back then, apparently, they'd fry it in lard and so forth to serve it to soldiers. And they actually sold it at the Lava Beds National Monument in just a little paper wrapping with a string around it. And they'll last. That's really good prepping information there. One great thing solar cookers are good for is for preparation, for being able to dry foods. And in this case, hardtack will last a good long time. I got to move my other cart here a little bit because if my power pack goes out, the live stream ends, and I don't want it to end now that I got it back online after my flubbing it up earlier. So long as I don't fall off the deck myself. All right. Yeah, having one that can stay outside. Since you're on my channel with this live stream, when you get off, look up two of my videos. One is Les and Deb McEvers, who have a stainless steel and it's sealed up and it's got a door in the back. It's all weather. It's on a post that's in concrete. They're in Zamora, California, northern California, kind of a deserty area, lots of sun, and they cook with it every day. When I visited them, they had already gotten dinner started for me and Joe. It was incredible, and it'll last forever. The stainless steel, it doesn't reflect as well as aluminum, but the reflectors at least match the size of the glazing, and he's got 4 reflectors around them. So they do everything, and they do turkeys, they do stews, they do breads, the whole 9 yards. So it's a permanent thing. The other one is David Omick and Pearl Mast. They're near Tucson, Arizona, which of course, the Tucson area, all of Arizona, it's about the sunniest part of North America. There's probably 2 or 3 other places that are about the same, almost total sun for almost the whole year. And so David Omick and Pearl Mast, they built one that almost exact same type. They added a little shelves on the side so they could put the pot to go in on the one and the pot that they just took out on the other, and so it's just real easy shifting of stuff. And definitely those are 2. A little bit of metal smithing, not outrageous though. I think the Omics, they have their plans. They might be on the wiki. Basically, take any box cooker and make the outside stainless steel or any kind of metal that's even if it's like galvanized, which will rust to a degree. It'll last for a good long time. Okay, Jeff, need to be fussed at. Okay, I got the Sun Oven. I do recommend using it. The Sun Oven it's been around 30 years. It is battle tested. You'd have to put it in front of a moving truck to destroy it. I mean, mine has dropped off our deck, fortunately on the grass. The only thing is the glass could shatter, but the glass is you can replace that with regular glass. I'm not even sure it's tempered glass. Fairly simple fix. The ones I've had get up to almost 400 degrees fairly consistently. They're a little bit more work to put up, but I remember the Jennifer Barker in Oregon. She has a shelf just outside her shed, her gardening shed, that is under a real long overhang. So she just sets it up there. So it's always outside, but it's away from the driving rain and that sort of thing. So what you should try in the sun oven first? Oh, anything, any meat dish. If you're talking carnivore diet, Joe and I, we're omnivores. We'll eat anything at least once. And I've got the pork chop and the chicken gizzards in the Arliss Walters, which I see is just about in perfect focus. I'm gonna need to move it because my satellite dish for internet is starting to get sun. I don't want it to overheat, so I'll do that in a couple seconds here. But anything really, it starts simple though, just to get assurance about it. Putting in just chicken breasts, mixed chicken, white and dark meats, chicken and rice. Pretty much, you can put rice into kind of a soupy chicken dish, and it'll be perfectly fine. What do they call it? There's a name for that. I'll have to ask Joe when she's. What's a dish with chicken and then you put rice in it right away? Pilaf? No, what is it?
Arroz con pollo.
Arroz con pollo. But you cook the rice separately for that.
There's different ways.
But because I've done it where I put rice, like a half a cup of rice, and a piece of any meat, and then seasonings and green peppers and whatever, and put it in the sun oven, let it go an hour and a half or so, and usually the meat's done, and you check the rice, it probably got done before the meat. So as long as and it doesn't need the usual is like a couple cups of water for a cup of rice. You might only need a cup of water or a cup of juices, with the tomato juice or stuff. So try anything. Yeah, glad you got a sun oven. You can't go wrong. There's so many things you can cook in that. Oh yeah, and Juana, yes, the metal Hanes, the upsize and so forth. Yeah, you just leave that out because that's I don't know if that needs to be polished or buffed now and again. If it's galvanized, it's supposed to be resistant to rust, right? But anyway, Jennifer says hi.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, in fact, on that note, I have in my garage. In fact, I hope to do a live stream of that while I'm on the road or even before I leave. I have made the exact same size of the Hanes 2.0 out of printing plate aluminum, which is kind of a buff aluminum. It's not spectral grade. It's not all that shiny. But my theory is that it will probably cook fairly well because you put a fairly large pot in it to begin with. So even though it's going to diffuse the light as it reflects it back, you still got that large pot that's probably going to catch most of it. So my suspicion is if something takes 2 hours to cook in the Hanes, the original Hanes, so what if it takes 3 hours with a printing plate aluminum or aluminum flashing that you can get at the hardware store? And then it's metal and it's more durable. Although his is durable, don't get me wrong. I mean, it'll last for years. Don't leave it out in a driving hailstorm. That's don't put it in front of a moving truck. 2 good points. You'll keep your solar cookers alive for that. Yeah. What else? Oh, what's Juana? What's that? The option is not available. Oh, give likes to comments. There must be a way. I thought there was a way.
I texted Juana.
Yeah.
And we discovered that in Spanish it's called subtítulos.
Okay.
But they were not available either for me or her.
That's weird because people are doing I'm going to hit the heart and that goes flying up, but it's just a general.
Yeah.
I love this. Not like I love your comment. Shoot. You know what? You can. This is work. This is too much work. But you could go back once this is posted because it immediately posts, and then you can like individual comments. They really should have that. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't realize that. I just never noticed it.
Yeah. Might be available afterwards.
Oh, and that's another thing for the festival. One twist, and I haven't done a lot of promotion yet, but I do want to get some research presentations. And my criteria is pretty light. I'm not going to be as rigorous as Console Foods, which, you know, they really want the give and take. But for the oh boy, it's telling me my connection is unstable. I'm gonna look and make sure. Oh, it says I'm good. Okay. Anyway, so if someone wants to do just a video, a presentation, or a workshop, how to put together a cooker, if it's just a pre-recorded presentation, I encourage them to go ahead and do it in their own language. And the reason is they'll be posted to my YouTube channel where you can turn on captions, and it'll usually recognize what the language is. If it doesn't, you can turn on captions and select the language it is. Say if it is English, say it is Italian. That's one thing that can be done. And I think you can do that live with YouTube as well. You know, I think I got to really shade my satellite dish because I'm getting this internet thing unstable thing. I'll be right back. Okay, someone post a comment to make sure, so I can be sure I'm still live here. I had I got the message that my internet connection was unstable, and I think it's because my satellite internet dish was getting too hot. It was in the sun. I see also it's the receiver and the modem is too. I can move that too. Put them in the shade. Right back. Okay. Dave. Hi, Dave. Jennifer, am I still unstable? I've always been unstable. It's my internet connection I'm worried about. Okay, you're supposed to have this is where you got to have the, add emotes. Anyway, yeah, if I were stable, I wouldn't be here. I'd be out there making a decent living. Joe says, yeah, what? Anyway, okay. So, let's talk about stability. I need some ice water. Whew. It's not too bad, though. I mean, it's actually better than, if the connection would have been right, I would have been able to change into dry clothes, long sleeve shirts and all that, but at least now I'm under my parasol for shade. So, anyway. Yeah, Jennifer mentions Matteo Muccioli's cooker. Is that the kimono? He's had 3 or 4 iterations of that, and every one just, the beauty of the design just can't be beat, and they work, and they're kind of on the order of the Copenhagen, where they're just the simplicity of the design just defies expectations. You know. I'm hoping that he'll be able to do something for the festival, more of a live thing, and do it in Italian. And any of you that have seen his videos, if I knew Italian, I don't think I could keep up. He's a very fast talker, but but he could do that, and everyone could follow along by just hitting the caption translates. So, wow, we're at an hour and 24 minutes on this makeshift, making up for my incompetence for getting the first live stream off the ground. I'm so glad everyone found us. And I see there's a few likes on this already. My antenna, yeah. There's actually one of the cookers in the assignment list. I forget, I think it's called the Helios, and it looks like a satellite dish thing. Like you think, okay, there's a parabolic, but it doesn't have this kind of needle-like thing coming through it where the focal point gets extremely hot, and somehow the design is supposed to transmit the heat through this tube past the parabolic and up into like a frying pan. And I don't know how it'll work. You'll see it when my next newsletter. I'm going to have them all. In fact, I listed a lot of them a while back where I said, hey, I don't have them in my collection. I mean, my own self-interest and greed where I got to have my own cookers first. But in this case, it'd be so cool if people would make them. Some of them have their original prototype, but they're hoping to eventually get back to it. And, time will tell. Okay, now I got to move myself a little bit more into the shade. Can I do that? There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. We can't have exhausted all the questions. You guys must have some more questions or thoughts. Please share thoughts. What do you think should happen during the festival? What should Celestino include in foods in May next year? The idea is to make them as educational for anyone that signs up. And I learn something every time I go out on my road trips. It's amazing how, you think after 150 visits, okay, I've heard it all. No, there's so much more to learn. There's always more to learn. And that's why Console Foods, Celestino organizes it every 2 years. Okay, Jennifer, what do I need for the festival? Right now, I'm at the point where I got about a 2-week window of getting to everyone I know that has something they could possibly turn into a live stream like this, or live stream it via Zoom, which, I upgraded my Zoom account for the museum, so it went from 100 to up to 300 people could log in. I have no idea how many people will be able to log in during the festival, and it's not as critical because it'll all be recorded, and I'll just post it right away to my channel. So literally within an hour or two. This with live streams with YouTube, as soon as we end the stream, it's posted. In fact, you'll see my fragment of me looking like an idiot from the first attempt this morning, because it's still there. I haven't deleted it yet. I will delete it after I get off of this. But for the festival, if you know anyone, this is one thing that would really be great. I'm going to mention Neil Jones again from Australia. He contacted me and said, well, what can we do for the panel discussions? And would these topics be good for them? And he listed 4 of them. And it's like 2 of them are kind of like on the peripherals. They're not strictly solar cooking, but like solar food processing, but like energy related. And it's like, well, I've got 18 days to fill. So, and that's not to downgrade that idea. It's wonderful. So he found 4 or 5 other people, including one who's logged in here. I really appreciate that he connected me with Giannis, who's posted a few questions and statements here. We're already in discussion for how he can contribute to the festival. I mean, I did not find him in any of my notes going back 20 years of collecting cookers, or the now going into my 7th year of doing the videos. And so I know a lot of people, but I don't know everyone. So as many of those folks as you can find to contribute, the better. And then also, you mentioned, something with youth. Absolutely. In fact, the one, it's not totally a disappointment because we're gonna do something with it. Vivek Kabra in India, I posted an interview with him. He is just brilliant. This is brilliant. One day he said, we got to get kids to learn solar cooking. So he set up with a school or 2, I think, and the parents, where he said, look, let's get a soccer field and let's draw off about 2 meters by 2 meters, have kids sit there and make a solar cooker, put some food in there to cook, and you guys go around and give them suggestions and give them encouragement. And we're talking, I think he's talking 10 to 12 years old. So it's kind of at an age where they're not, what shall we say, disillusioned teenagers, but they're also out of that kind of squirrely, first grade, 6-year-old thing. So they pay attention, and he put them all on a soccer field. And it was a wonderful event. And not only was it wonderful that he did it, but people, he said his problem was, as soon as the word got out, a bunch of other schools said, well, why can't we participate? So it's really talking about the solar cooking virus. I mean, he really struck a chord there. and he ended up with, I think the record was he called the Guinness Book of World Records. He says, someone told me I should get into your book. Who holds the record for the most solar cooking done in one spot and time and place. And they said, no one's done it yet, so you're it. And apparently 6 or 7 events later, he had like 16,000 kids. I mean, can you picture 16,000 kids having their parents and their teachers going, good work, this is great, this is sustainable, this is the future. And they're cookers that are like they're kind of like the sun dish, where they're like one sheet but turned into kind of a cone. So very simple to make. I think he actually used the Cook It model for the first one, but he's probably done more than one model besides the other one. So anyway, I contacted him and I said, oh man, if you could have one of your big kids groups on a soccer pitch doing solar cooking for the festival live stream, are you kidding? That would just be the sweetest thing. And he said, well, the trouble is, at least his part of India, it's the monsoon season. And we're not talking monsoon like Albuquerque. They tell me you have a monsoon season. Well, it's heavy rains for a couple hours now and again. But it's not like in India where it's really serious business. And so he's really not confident he could find a date to do it. But we worked out where I can take the videos he has done and put together. It might be a half hour, 45 minutes of all of his events that he's recorded, mostly photos, but a couple of them they have videos of, to just celebrate that in the middle of the festival and say, okay, here's, take his lead. That's leadership, to say, this is how we should try it. Let's give it a shot. And it's just wildly successful and worthwhile doing. So getting kids, having youth events, workshops with kids, a lot of like the Jennifer, your solar education projects video series, the Makers series, with where kids could be involved. By the way, sidebar, as you know, one event I was hoping to have was to be able to have a bunch of videos from maker spaces around the world and in the States, where we issued what we call the Solar Cooking Challenge, Solar Cooking Maker Design Challenge. And I have sent to all the countries outside of the States. And I haven't heard back from any saying, oh, let's talk, or hey, we like this, let's try something. I've had a few bounce notes, but basically about 200 countries with makerspaces have gotten the invitation. And I came up with a little middle of the road way to accommodate the maker ethos. One discussion we had was, you don't want to call it a contest, and you don't want to give awards per se, because the whole maker ethos is everyone's pitching in, a team effort. No one should be, put on a pedestal above everyone else. And so I thought, well, something in between would be, I would have a prize basically for the first 20 that submit the video that meets certain criteria. And every one, even after 20, I'm going to post them during the festival. Am I going to get 50? That'd be wonderful. Am I going to get 5? I'll take it. I don't know. I'm ready to start sending them off one state at a time now for all the maker spaces in the state. And they might be more comfortable doing it, with it coming from. So I'm a member of Twins TC Maker here in Minneapolis. I learned welding so I could try to make some solar cooker designs I've had some ideas about. Have I gotten to it yet? No, but I hope to. Anyway, Michael, hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one or sometime in the future. But so Jennifer, that's absolutely. And as I recall, Mary, wasn't it 5th grade? Her if I were to be a teacher, that would be the grade I would teach at, because I figure you could still hold their attention. They still seem to be just really eager to learn, but they've also shed a lot of their rambunctiousness, their lack of attention, that kind of stuff. So, but still, I don't know. I mean, at any age, let's get the kids involved. Any last questions? I mean, maybe we're approaching about an hour and a half. I mean, I could go I got a full pitcher of ice water here, so I could probably go till 3 or 4. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to check on a few of my dishes, but right now, Everything seems to be in order. Actually, I got to put my eggs back in the Haynes. Anything else? I see we're down to 13, so I know. So maybe I should know that. About an hour and a half is probably as much as people can spare. That's fine. That's fine. This was great. I'm so glad all of you were able to pop in spite of my, and I'm before I do the next one, I'm going to get it so it'll have to disable my laptop's camera. That's what it's on right now, and do my mobile one so I can have. I got a cord that's about 20 feet. Back in 20, I think it was 2022 or 21, when because of COVID, Celestino said, "Well, let's do a bunch of live webinars," and so we did, and I was probably the second or third one where it's just, hey, I'll talk about my collection. And I had my other camera mobile on a laptop that didn't have its own camera, so it was a lot easier to do. Maybe that's what I should do. But anyway, so I'll have that fixed. That way I could have been at each cooker. But it's been a great. Gordy knows a thing or two about sweating with the oldies, or certainly sweating with me when I've dropped in on him in Barstow. Barstow's kind of in the heart of the Mojave Desert, right, Gordy? And we got out of the heat by finding sushi buffets with air conditioning. Next time we'll be there. We'll be there in August. By the way, my calendar for the trip, I will be starting at the end of July to record as many things as I can for the festival, and some of them I'll probably do live streams that I'll re-air during the festival. So that's on the boards, and I'll be through August. I'll be zigging and zagging out west and southwest. A lot of time in California, a little bit of time in Oregon and Washington, a lot of time in Arizona and New Mexico, and in the middle of the festival, of course, sweating it out with Kurt on the beach there in Galveston. I am so looking forward to that. That was really, I mean, I did the state fair here, and it's just, there's no comparison. I would have rather have been on the beach and engaging people, under full sun, where they've got all the time in the world. So, Juana, yes, will I share videos? Absolutely. Here's how it's going to work. For live streams, if, say, someone in India or Australia says, I'm going to do a live stream on YouTube, they will provide the link or the announcement, and part of the festival is you got to put it on the World Network. You got to put it on the 3 or 4 major Facebook groups, share it with your Reddit pages, Instagram, whatever. And of course, after every live stream, it's immediately posted to YouTube. So they won't, it's not like I can accidentally hit delete. In fact, that's what happened with the first one for 4 minutes. I'm looking like an idiot. And I thought, well, maybe I can end the stream and I can start it again. No, it's done. That's why I had to set up a separate one. And I'm so glad everyone found me. The other ones that'll be done, like the panel discussions by Zoom, the vast majority probably will be with my museum Zoom account, which records, but I have to upload it later. And it takes, like an hour long, like 2 hours. The forum sometimes goes as long as 2 hours. It might take an hour and a half to upload to my channel. But once it's on my channel, it's done. It's there, and anyone can find it. And I'll be posting them on my newsletter every day for every new link. For the vast serving food, you've got a live stream that's recorded and sitting on YouTube. They have a YouTube. The restaurant, they only have 20 subscribers, and I think they need 50 before they'll say, okay, you can do a live stream. But after that, it's just, you just make sure your phone number is correct in the records, and because that's what I did, and I could have, and it's just, and you have to wait 24 hours after to do the first one. Well, okay, that was 4 or 5 days ago when I scheduled this one. So from this point, and like this one right now, you can always just say, I'm going live right now, and so you just announce it on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever. Obviously, for the festival, we want to plan it so people can plan their days. So yeah, every last thing should be recorded. I got to say, there are a handful of groups that have regular meetings with like guest speakers. Some of them are like solar branches of the American Solar Energy Society, And these are important presentations on all the latest going on in solar energy, PV, and so forth. And they're not recording them. They're not. I don't get it. The Rotaries have a special group of chapter called SRAG where it can be all around the world. It doesn't have to be based in Caracas or New York or wherever. It can be just an environmental one, and they have several that are environmental causes. And they weren't recording their Zoom calls where everyone just gathered to share what they were doing. And I mean, that's where we learn. So thanks for the question. Absolutely. Everything's going to be, and if it's recorded on YouTube, of course, it's going to be live. If you can be there, great. You don't have to worry about it. You're not. As soon as it's done, it's going to be on archive there, ready to see again. The Zooms, as soon as all my panel ones are done that I'm going to be moderating, as soon as they're done, I'm hitting upload to YouTube. Hour, 2-3 hours at the most later, it'll be there. So, and hopefully with the upgrading my subscriptions or people attending my Zoom calls to 300, that we might be able to have so many do that it's not as critical. I mean, it'll still be archived. So, who all is still here? Oh, I think some people might have got kicked off because of that instability. Sorry about being unstable there. All of a sudden it went from like 18 to 6, and now it's back up to 15. So I know some of you have to leave. I don't want to hold anyone back, but I just enjoy the company here, especially after the snafu. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Probably 2/3 that have logged in. I've either met you in person or online, and some that I've just met via email recently. It's really great. This is how the network has grown. So, yeah. So just to summarize, what everyone can do for the festival is, log in, get people to subscribe to my newsletter, which is where all of the stuff is going to be posted. I won't have time to do little blocks from my Excel spreadsheet. Everything is going to be on there. It's free. I'm never going to charge for it. I don't need to. If I ever do that, it'll be like a Patreon thing for, I don't know, special videos or something. But no one should have to wait and have to pay for, one of the best news out there that you can cook with sunlight. So, all right. Anything else? Boy, I'm smelling all my stuff cooking out. I'm getting so hungry. Oh. Tell me if you can hear me, because it says Google Chrome is using my... Oh, well, this is on Google Chrome. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So it's... Oh, good. Joe can hear me. Sometimes she wishes she could turn down my volume. Anyway, that's one where she knows she'd want to have the mad face comment. Emoticon. Yeah, no. And that, but I do miss, like when I did my thing back in for Console Foods, the webinar, and I must have had 15, 16 cookers that I was able to put the camera on, move it around. That'll happen next time. So, yeah, Joe is smart. She's inside the house, so we have a heat pump that does both the AC, the air conditioning, and the heat, and we use it more for the air conditioning. Minnesota is not the hottest state at all, but we get stretches like this where we're going to have a week where it's really kind of stifling, and it is really nice, that heat pump, very efficient, and we're not paying any more. We're paying less for both electricity and gas, even though this also switches to gas if it gets a little too cold for the heat pump to handle. But we're still paying a lot less for energy overall because of the solar panels on the roof. And so, yeah. It's just me blabbing right now. Someone's got to ask a question. So Juana Cuernavaca, you have an idea to live stream some solar cooking during the festival? I know that I've publicized your work on dehydrating cheese. You would go over big in Wisconsin. That's an inside joke. Wisconsin, they call themselves cheeseheads because it's a big dairy state. Maybe you could make solar cheese curds. That's a big thing at sporting events. Oh, good. Yes, the solar picnic. That's like the top in my brain. The top event. Have a picnic. Have a like solar potlucks. Invite everyone and their uncle. And being able to live stream it or at least get it recorded. That's just fantastic. Oh, that could be. Yeah, Dave. I don't know. Everything. Here, I'll check my modem. It's maybe not in the. Well, everything's in the shade. I don't know what's happening. I'm not getting the unstable message. So, yeah, there we go, Joe. 31 degrees Celsius, and that's in the 90 to. What does my phone say? Oop. So it doesn't have the temp showing, but 90-ish Fahrenheit. Are others getting the buffering message, or where I'm stutter stepping? I know that sometimes when it does that, it does catch up because it is when it's receiving the signal, it all of a sudden goes really fast and catches up. But that also might be a sign if it's doing that. Maybe I should call it a wrap. But I'm not. I'm always the last guy to leave a party, so I got to hang out until the rest of you are really fed up with me. I got better things to do. Oh, I got a question for Kurt. The AIA, do I understand right that they are like a big sponsor of the whole event at Galveston, the sandcastle competition? Because like they judge sandcastles. I mean, that's massive, and that they are able to carve out a little niche for us for do solar cooking. That's really wonderful. Is that correct? I think I read the one post about the event, and it seemed like they were the main movers and shakers behind that event. If so, hats off to is it American Institute of Architects? Oh man, 30 years. That was so much fun. If I didn't know about solar cooking and I would learn about it there, that's the place I'd want to learn it. I was able to drift off back when I was under the tent and catch some of the castles being made. And I think that's the first day that they're being made. So I don't think they were being judged till the end of the day and maybe the next day. But there was some stuff, just outrageous stuff. I mean, you walk into them and live in the castles. They were just beautiful, except for being a little too small, maybe. And who could argue with being on the beach on a hot, sunny day? Get your parasol out and towel and so forth. Wow. Well, who all is left? I wonder if there's a way to show who all's. I mean, I can see individual comments, but I don't know if there's a place to see who all's signed in. That's probably not real practical because you can have live streams with 1,000 people. Yeah. Any last questions? Okay, Dave. Yeah, thanks for hanging in there and logging in. I know we've had a lot of FaceTime over the internet, and I appreciate your patience. Oh, yeah. Well, No, that makes sense, Kurt. Yeah. It's talk about, the opportunity knocks, answer the door. You answered the door, and wow, was it 5 times you've done it? It's at least 4, right? Well, if it's like if you did a 2020, did you do 2020 and that point forward? I mean, that's massive. Just for everyone who's still on this live stream, that is no small thing. I mean, Kurt and Matt and probably others before him. Wow, 5 so far. They pack a van where there's not enough room. You can get in there and breathe. I followed them there at the one I was helping out with, and it's just huge. Fortunately, you can drive right to your tent and unpack right there, pretty much. I think. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that so I can put out my stuff and get it set up so it's in the shade, the power pack and everything. Like here, I've got it all shaded. My satellite is in the shade, and it's got almost perfect satellite reception. I don't know, the buffering probably is due to heat because it is just generally hot. And I know my cameras, when I've done visits, even when they have them in the shade, but if it's really hot, they sometimes go on the fritz. So anyway, so yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the beach and getting that camera on all the activity. I did record that time I was there, by the way, and I have I must have 100 gigs of video because I had a bunch that I just kept turning the next one on when the battery ran out on the Pixels, and those will hold like an hour and a half. And my Sony, I think I had the Pixel by then too. And when I got home, I thought, well, I got to make something of this. Well, it's so wonderful, but it's really, it's 2 or 3 people talk for 5-10 minutes. Kurt and Matt have them all engaged, and then they move on, and that's another one. And so it's not like a progression of, hey, we did this study and we found this out and then we did this. But that's the point. It's just so low key, just so enjoyable. And this time, as long as I can get my stuff out, I'll do a lot more than I did last time to make sure we can help get stuff on display. And the live stream will be at least the one thing. Like I say, I'll have that on a tripod, and the satellite dish should work fine there because there's no obstructions. Here I'll turn this up right above me. Well, there's my canopy, but then also a Norway red maple that when you look at all the satellites that the dish is catching, there's all these little red pockets and then a big red smear. Well, that's the tree. But so long as that's away from the center of the globe and you have it has to be pointed north, then you're good to go. And so I checked that before I got on because that was the deal breaker. If I couldn't use that, I wouldn't be able to use it on the beach. I wouldn't be able to use it in Tucson. And here I would have switched to I've got a fiber optic modem in the garage, and I would have switched to that so we'd still at least have the live stream. So yeah, goodbye Seattle. Yeah, well, I hope to drop in there to talk with Tom Sponheim and Paul Hedrick with SCI with the wiki again. If I can finagle that, our trip is going to be a lot shorter than last year, but it's really kind of a pilgrimage to meet with them. They're especially Tom, who started the first version of what ended up being the wiki. So yeah. Okay. Well, we got 10 minus Joe. Does that include me? I think it might include me. So that's at least 8 of you that have stuck around this far. Really appreciate it. Being kept company. And even for as hot as it is, I still can speak. I've taught a class at Metro State here, and I got so many guest speakers because I knew I couldn't. It was like a 2.5-3 hour class, so I would always lose my voice by the end if it was just me. So I got guest speakers. You bet, Kurt. Oh man, yeah. We'll see you in Galveston. If not, actually, we'll see you in Houston before we drive to Galveston. So yes, arrivederci. Who's left? Juana Maria, you said it was a marathon. Are you still up for a marathon? Or is it like that, the corridas in España with the bulls? Toros, corridas de toros. Maybe some people logged in and they went and got groceries. Figure, well, I'll be recorded, but if I come back, it's still on, right? Oh, Juana, is that a ghost? I should actually put something in the chat to see what I could put up there. Emotas. Oh, I see it. Okay. I'll raise you an alligator. Crocodile. Well, I'll have to do, that's the only thing, it's a big deal, but boy. Oh, I'm getting the connection unstable thing again. Everything's in shade. Maybe I should move. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm trying to enter a chat thing here. It won't let me. Maybe I do have a disconnect. I can stop that. I'll start over. Well, I guess, I don't know. If there's no more questions, I should probably get all my food out. None of it, well, the one might burn in the, so I think I'm going to call it a day. It's been 2 hours of great questions, great networking. And this will show up as recorded on the channel. Unless there's any one last thing, I'm going to give it a countdown of about 60 seconds. And then we'll gather up all our food. Yeah, I think the beans might get a little scorched on the bottom because they're in the SK14, but it's been kind of out of focus for a while too, so they're probably just done. Okay, I'm looking for the, is that the waving goodbye symbol? Yeah, I'm just I'm messing around with the chat. I posted hasta luego, Tierra del Fuego, but it translated it to goodbye or see you later, Tierra del Fuego. Oh well. Okay, keeps. There's still a few.
Waiting for Inez. I'm gonna be by the front door.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah,
then I'll come out.
yeah. Oh, okay, I am officially going to call it a good live stream session. In spite of my own incompetence, it happened. Oh, you made it.
There she is.
And we just had a guest come in too. So I'm going to end this transmission. This has been great, and it'll be better next time. A little. It won't be much more advanced notice because, as I mentioned in the newsletter, I do need to have 3 or 4 days, pretty sure forecast, and it has been. We got little tiny puffy clouds up there, so it's been a perfect day so far. So, okay, this is going to be it. Hasta luego. Auf Wiedersehen. Ta-ta. See you later.